Do not adjust your television sets. We have a special edition video of Talking Cardboard coming up where we are previewing Con of the North. Thank you for joining us for this special edition of Talking Cardboard. If you like our content, click the like button below, subscribe, leave a comment. We are super excited about what we're talking about here tonight. As always, I'm your host, George. On my right is Nick for a change, and on my left is Corey. Nick, what are we doing here?
Well, I'm excited to give you some details about Con of the North. First of all, price to get into this convention is $40, and that's at the door. It's located in the Crown Plaza Hotel in Plymouth, Minnesota. So hopefully if you're in the Twin Cities area, you can easily get to this convention. What's nice about it being at the hotel, and I can speak from experience last year, is that there's a lot of ample parking and the location. Some kind of cons are downtown. This one is in a suburb, so it's easy to get to. The dates are from February 17th through the 19th, so that weekend. $40 gets you attendance for all 3 days. And there will be all sorts of events to participate in. Board games, card games, computer games, live action games, role-playing games, a couple seminars even to attend. There will be plenty of vendors as well at this convention. There's local publishing companies including Chip Theory Games, Atlas Games, Leader Games. We've played a lot of games from those publishers ourselves on our channel. Great publishing companies, by the way. It's really cool that they're in our backyard. And then also a lot of the local board game stores will be present. So we have Level Up Games, Source Comic and Games, and then Tower Games. Also, there's going to be a lot of board game groups and RPG groups that are hosting events at the con, including Pathfinder Society, Dungeons and Dragons Adventure League, Saturday Night Space Opera, the First Minnesota Historical War Game Society, and Maximum Overdrive. So if you have already pre-registered, make sure you start scheduling your events because they are filling up quickly. And then if you have not registered yet, as mentioned earlier, you will have to just wait till the time when the convention starts and you'll pick your events at the door there. Also new to the con this year is there will be a GM ready room for all GMs hosting events to get themselves ready for their games. So that's going to be really awesome, especially for us since we will be GMs this year. With that said, I'll turn it to George for a few other details about the con.
So some tips and tricks in addition to the parking, which Nick mentioned, which is super important. You said there's ample parking, which is great. There also is plenty of options parking down in the city anyways, if you don't mind walking in the Minnesota winter. Also, people can bring their own food. It's totally fine to walk in with food and drink. Because there's only a small concession area in this convention complex as it is. However, there's a restaurant in the hotel. There are lots of other restaurants that are nearby, other establishments for some other types of beverages and food that you'll be able to partake in as you need. When you're down there, you can Google it. There's plenty of local places. Now, we're doing this video in particular because Talking Cardboard is going to have a really good presence here. Corey, tell us more about what Talking Cardboard is doing at Con of the North.
Yes, for the first time, this is the first year Con of the North is actually hosting or allowing us to host one of our own rooms. So we will be in the Helsinki room. We are renaming it Talking Cardboard Room for the duration of the convention. So we have our very own room with our very own name on it, and we're really excited about that. So we just want to thank all the people that are involved in Con of the North and putting this together for giving us that opportunity to have our own space. In that space, we have a bunch of things going on. We have events, card game events. George can talk about a little bit later here. We are hosting other game events. Me in particular, I have a few games going on where I'm hosting Mosaic, Paleo, Heaven and Ale. Those are three of my top favorite games of all time, so I really want to show those off and teach those and maybe sit in on a few of those games as well. We will also have room for open gaming in our room as well, so everybody's welcome to come in. We really want to jam-pack the room tight, get everybody to fit into one space and get the room loud and have just a great time. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about too that is happening specifically in this room is we are doing some live recording where we're going over like our top 5 favorite games of all time lists and some other lists as well. If you want to hit us up on Twitter and give us any suggestions of what other topics we can talk about during the live recording sessions, let us know. Anyone who is present to watch us live for these lists are entered in a chance to win some of these great games from these great publishers. They're giving us a bunch of free games to give away. So, you know, what's better than getting some free games while you're watching some live recordings? I think it'll be a lot of fun, and we're excited to host these events.
You'll get to see how the sausage is made. You get to interact with us. Please interact with us on social media. If you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see our socials where it's at, where you can interact with us either now or during the convention. On Instagram especially, tag the photos. Talk about what you're doing at the convention with the hashtags Con of the North and hashtag Con of the North 2023. It'll be so much fun to be interacting and see this blow up. As Corey mentioned, I'm going to be running some games, SoulForge Fusion in particular. We haven't talked about it a whole lot on Talking Cardboard, but I fell in love with this game so much that I even started a podcast about it called the Charge Plated Podcast, where my brother-in-law Cody and myself talk about this game every week. We go into details of strategies. We talk about local and national and world level events. We've got spoilers. We've got fun and games that we play. And I'm putting on some Learn to Play events for SoulForge Fusion because it's a pretty new game. We also have a free sealed event. So you walk into the event and I'm going to give you a free booster, which is all the supplies you'll need in order to play in this tournament. And then it'll be a Swiss round tournament. We'll have a winner crowned. We'll be giving out some prizes. And then on Sunday, the last day of Con of the North, we're going to have a constructed event. If you showed up for the sealed event, you have everything you need to do this constructed event. Otherwise, if you're a familiar SoulForge Fusion player, you can bring any 2 half decks you've fused together and try to compete for this bronze level event. This goes towards your world ranking in SoulForge Fusion, and it's a storyline event, so it's participating in that larger scale with SoulForge Fusion in general. So please come check us out for that. I love this game. I love sharing it with people. I want this to be a big staple of what Talking Cardboard is doing during Con of the North. Nick, what else are we putting on?
So since we'll be at a convention, I'm taking this opportunity to play some of the bigger games in my collection. First of all, I'm going to do a Overlord scenario of Memoir 44. That means 8 people are playing Memoir 44 at one time. Each side has a general commander managing the various flanks of the battlefield. It's a really cool way of playing Memoir 44, but of course difficult to get 8 people to play that game at once, but the convention is a perfect opportunity. I also am going to be hosting a game of Twilight Imperium, 4th edition, and another big game. To be quite honest, I'm not sure if we'll finish. I allotted 8 hours. I don't know if we'll finish in that time, but of course, whoever has the most victory points when we finish wins. But excited to get that game to the table.
And probably also a great way to learn the game too.
Yes.
It's one of those games that not a lot of people get to try because of the broad scope of the game. You don't really get enough players to play it, often too. So I think it's a great opportunity, like you said, with like the Overlord version of Memoir 44. Twilight Imperium 4th edition is also a great game for that con setting.
Yes.
So
yeah, to Corey's point, and for all of us, if you're not signed up for our events, feel free to still stop by our Helsinki room and watch us play. We'll be more than happy to instruct you of how the game works, and so you can at least kind of understand the game if you're interested in it, and then at another time maybe play the game with your friends or family. But definitely stop by and watch some of the games that we'll be hosting if they interest you, even if there's no tickets left for the event. In addition to Memoir 44 and Twilight Imperium 4th edition, I'm breaking out my big... Oh my god, this thing's heavy. War Room. I know. And for those of you not familiar with War Room, it's basically like Axis and Allies on steroids. So I have yet to play it. So by the time of the con, I'll be an expert on the rules. And then what I'm really excited about is the great relationship we've been building with Genius Games. So I have a Genius Games event. We'll be playing Genotype and also their Ecosystem Coral Reef game. And what was fantastic about Genius Games is that they actually donated these games to Talking Cardboard to give away at the con, and we'll have games to give away then during my Genius Games event, but then also during our live recording event as well. So a lot of really cool events that we'll be hosting.
And there's nothing better than free.
Nothing.
Free games, free fun, free SoulForge, free bronze tier,
the booster
pro
thing.
level.
That's really cool.
Everything is free except for your ticket to get in.
What we're trying to say is we have so much stuff going on, and 3 days is barely going to be able to handle it.
Yes, and that's just us. Like, this is a convention with tons of other people playing all sorts of games. So even if you're coming just for Talking Cardboard, great. But there's so much more going on all throughout the con.
If you want more information, we have linked Con of the North, their website, down in our information section below. Check it out.
Yes.
And don't worry that you can't buy a ticket right now because pre-registration closed on January 25th. but they are taking walk-in registration.
Yes.
So you'll be able to walk in and buy your ticket there. No worries on that front. We would love to see you there. Come say hi to us. Come play some games with us. We're going to be there all weekend. So for all of us at Talking Cardboard, let's get out there for Con of the North.